Guys, what's up? It's Savannah. Welcome back to another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. If you're new here, hi, my name is Savannah and I'm your host of My Thoughts Exactly. And before we get started, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss an episode. We post weekly here on the podcast every single Friday. You're not going to want to miss it. We also upload the video version onto YouTube on Fridays as well. So make sure you are subscribed. And with that being said, you guys, happy Friday. I hope you all are having a great week so far. And if you haven't, guess what? It's Friday. It's the weekend. You did it. You made it. We did it. Happy Friday, you guys. As you can tell by the title of today's episode, there are a lot of feelings, emotions, lots of thoughts running through my head. You guys are witnessing firsthand a little bit I would say a baby crash out. I am having a little minor baby crash out and you guys are witnessing it firsthand. And we're going to talk all through it because I feel like when I was thinking about what to record for today's episode, I had some ideas and nothing just felt authentic. And I was like, why don't you talk about what you're feeling? This was my internal dialogue. I was talking to myself and I was just like, nothing that I could come on here and I can do another heartbreak pep talk, or I can come on here and talk about I had an idea to do body image because summer's coming up and talking about comparison, and we will get to all of those episodes. But I realized the most authentic version of myself showing up for you guys would be to talk about how I'm feeling in this very moment. These types of episodes and any sort of dialogue that I ever have online where I am, either it comes off as complaining or it comes off negative, I'm always very hesitant to post. I always, of course, I'm human, have my days. However, I always like to come on and be a positive light, and I like to be a version of myself that is putting my best foot forward. I like to be the brightness in your day when you turn on this podcast and we can laugh and chit chat and talk and just have just a positive vibe and a positive attitude about life, because there truly is so much to be grateful for. And I personally just feel so blessed about so many different aspects of my life right now. I am, I live in a beautiful place. I have a beautiful family. Everyone is happy and healthy, and I am happy and healthy. However, I also feel like it's okay to document the not so great days too, because I feel like in the day and age of social media, which is such a highlight reel for so many people, and you're only seeing the best versions, or you're seeing these storylines that are so fake and made up, and you realize that later down the line, there are so many instances I can think of where you see someone and it's like, oh, they look like they're living their best life. And then come to find out a year or two later, they were actually at their lowest point. It's what you put out into the world that is the perception of you. And I also feel like because of that, I have a responsibility as someone with a camera and a mic who sits down here every week to talk to you guys, to also let you know that having bad days is okay too. And having a day where you're just like, I'm just in a mood and I'm just in a funk and I don't know why, but that's okay, is all right. It is all right to have those days. It is human to have those days. It is normal to have those days. And truthfully, I woke up on the right side of the bed. I don't know what happened. Sometime between me waking up and me getting back home from dropping Church off at his grooming appointment this morning, my mood and my attitude just shifted. And I was trying to talk myself out of it and just being like, put it to the side. Savannah, we're filming today. It's My Thoughts Exactly. Come on, what are we going to talk about? Heartbreak pep talk, body image. There's so many important topics to talk about. But again, like I said in the beginning, none of them felt authentic. And so I started to really tap into what I was feeling and why I was feeling off, because I think that the worst thing that you can do when you are just having an off day is not recognize the emotions that you're feeling and not really come to terms with them and really, be able to say, oh, this is why, being able to pinpoint, this is why I'm feeling this way. And even if it's just, I'm just feeling this way because I'm feeling this way and it's an off day, that's okay too. What happens is that if you don't do that, you're ending up doing a disservice to yourself. If you're just like, I'm not going to address these emotions, I'm not going to, tap into them, I'm not going to acknowledge them, I'm going to pretend that they're not there. That's when you do a disservice to yourself, because the emotions are there, whether you want to address them or not, whether you want to acknowledge them or not. You just end up doing yourself more a disservice if you decide to bottle that in and just shove it down, because it's going to come up eventually. It will. Trust me. Now, I know for me personally, when I started to have that internal dialogue of like, okay, what is going on? What are we feeling? What's happening? Because again, I have so much to be grateful for right now. And I'm so blessed and I feel so happy and content with so many areas of my life. But then I really started to realize, like, underneath the hood, like, let's go below the surface a little bit. Like, what is really going on here? And I think what I've realized and I started to notice within myself is I'm feeling a lot of things, and this is going to be a rambling episode, and I'm sorry, I just want to preface that. I'm just going to rant, and it's going to be a ramble, and it's going to be a tangent, and if that's something you want to listen to, great. If it's not, I totally understand. And there will be a full circle moment at the end of this, because I know myself, and once I talk things out, I'm going to be able to connect the dots at the end. And so I'm also doing this for myself. As much as I'm doing this for you guys to show you, like, hey, it's okay to not have your shit together all the time, I'm also doing it for myself to be like, I know at the end of this episode, A, I'm going to feel better because I'm expressing how I'm feeling and I'm talking things out with you guys. But B, I'm going to be able to connect the dots in my own head as to how I can fix how I'm feeling and how to move forward. So I started to realize, when I started thinking about everything that's going on, and I started to ask myself, like, Savannah, you have so much good happening. Like, you're getting married in the fall. You guys know I'm getting married in October, and I'm so, so excited. I actually don't even know if I've said October. I think I've just, vaguely said the fall. I'm getting married in October. The girlies on the podcast can know I'm getting married in October. And I was like, Savannah, you have so much good happening. Like, this is so exciting. It's supposed to be such an amazing time in your life. Like, all of this good is happening. And like, you're a bride and you're a fiance and like wedding planning and, so many good things are happening. And then I realized, like, okay, I think what I'm feeling is a little bit of pressure and also a little bit of, I guess, pressure from this idea of what I thought this era of my life would look like being a fiance and being engaged, and the reality of what it actually is, which I want to be very careful with what I say, because not in a way that I'm trying to hold anything back, but in a way that I don't want this to come across as like, this isn't what I thought being engaged would be like because I'm not happy in my relationship. No, it's not that at all. What it really comes down to is no one tells you. I don't think anyone prepares you for how much stress goes into planning a wedding. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of details. And I'm so lucky because I have such a great team. However, I do feel like I have so much that I want to get done between now and October when I get married. And that's the pressure that I'm feeling. And that's the pressure that I'm putting myself on. And I guess I thought getting engaged, I was going to be like floating on this little white cloud all the way up to the altar. And that's not really the reality of it. And I'm also realizing that's okay, because it was in the very beginning. Like when we first got engaged, I was like floating on my little white cloud and it was on the way to the altar. Now it's like, now I feel like I'm ducking and dodging and weaving, trying to A, plan a wedding, and B, do all of the things that I want to do and the pressure that I'm putting on myself. I do feel like in this bridal era, a lot of the pressure is, first of all, it's coming from me and it's on me. Like I am pointing the mirror at myself and I'm putting the pressure on myself, because I do feel like as a bride, there's this like certain expectation to look a certain way. You want to look your best. You want to look 10 out of 10. And as someone who I think struggles with body image and struggles with image in general, that feels like a lot of pressure to me. And I'm starting to get anxious over it. Like I'm starting to get anxious over the fact that I'm getting married and everyone's going to look at me and I'm going to be the center of attention And as great as that is, because I get to marry Hayden and like that's the goal, I'm also getting anxiety over the fact that like I want to look my best and I want to feel my best, but I feel like the clock is ticking and I feel like the days are just passing and I'm not where I want to be yet. Is that okay? Yes. And is this just, a moment that I'm having? Yes. I will be able to pull it together. I know myself. I know I will. And I know it's just going to take dedication and time. Because also I think that part of the reason I'm feeling this way is because I haven't been working out as much as I've been wanting to. I took a step back from my personal training just because I felt like I had kind of not reached a plateau, but I definitely felt like I had been doing it for 2 years and muscle memory was kicking in a little bit. And I was like, okay, I want to switch up my workouts. I want to focus on different areas and aspects of my body. And so I started getting into Pilates, and I haven't been as consistent with Pilates as I would like to be. And something about myself is that if I tell myself that I'm going to do something and then I don't do it, I feel a very big level of like disappointment in myself. And I'm like, why didn't I do that? Okay, I didn't do it. So now I have to crunch everything into one. Now I need to go double. Now I need to go like overboard and overdrive. That's how I end up feeling about myself. And that's how I end up feeling about, my schedule and the situation. Cause I'm like, okay, last week Hayden and I were on vacation. I didn't work out. That's stressful for me. So now when I get back here, not only am I feeling the mental strain of not working out, because I'm someone who I feel a lot better when I work out. I feel a lot just like happier, clear-headed. And now I'm coming back into this week. It's already Wednesday. I haven't worked out this week. And I'm like, okay, it's crunch time. I need to do like 4 workouts this week. But I also need to take a step back and be like, Savannah, that's not healthy. That's not healthy to have that mindset. And it's not healthy to just be constantly thinking about that. But I think that as a society, what I've just expected in being a bride is wanting to look and feel your best. And I see it on TikTok all the time. I'm on wedding TikTok and I see all these brides talking about how, what they're doing to look and feel their best, what they're doing to look and feel their best, what they're doing to look and feel their best. And I'm like, shit. Like, I'm not doing any of that. And maybe I need to start, but I'm like, have I started too late? Is it too late to get myself to where I would like to be? I have goals in my head, but I'm definitely putting a lot of pressure on myself to look a certain way because I know myself. I don't love taking photos of myself. And so when I look back on these photos, I want to be super happy with them because they're going to be my wedding photos. They're going to be photos that I'm always going to want to look at. But then I have this, little voice in the back of my head that's like, I don't know. Are you sure you're going to want to look at them? Maybe you shouldn't take pictures. Like maybe you won't look as good as you think you should, or maybe you won't look as good as you want. And that's the voice that keeps playing in my head. And I think because I've slacked on working out, especially with it being summer, like I feel like if this was like the start of winter, I would probably give myself a little bit more leeway. But because we're also leading up to summer, it's getting hot outside. And I will say, like, this isn't because I'm unhappy with my body or where I am at. I just have felt like I haven't been focusing on my health as much as I would like to in this time and leading up to my wedding. And so it's not because I hate what I see when I look in the mirror, but I definitely look in the mirror and I'm like, we could tweak that a little bit. Or like, I feel like this could be a little bit better. So I just need to remind myself, and this is where I like need to come down to earth a little bit, that I'm sure that these feelings are normal because, well, first of all, if I'm feeling them, I'm not the only person in the whole world that has ever felt them. But B, I think that, I do need to cut myself a little bit of slack also. That's what I tell myself. But then it's this battle of like, cut yourself some slack. But like, no, Savannah, don't cut yourself some slack because there's a wedding coming up and like you're going to be the focal point. Me and Hayden. It's obviously Hayden and I's wedding. It's not just me, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's the bride. And as the bride, you want to look your best. And this is supposed to be the best day of your life. And like, I just feel like I'm having a little bit of a wedding crash out, not because I'm not excited about it, because I'm so excited. I can't wait to like walk you guys through every little piece and part of this wedding. Like it is going to be so magical and I cannot wait. But I do think that there is an added level of pressure when it comes to how you want to look. And I'm definitely feeling that pressure, and I'm feeling it more because I feel like I am not prioritizing that. And I get frustrated because I'm like, well, the only person that can prioritize that is myself, and I'm not doing that. So that is the internal struggle that I'm having. And alongside of like, and I hope that doesn't come off too like vain. And if it does, sorry, it's my wedding, sue me. But like, it's not about a vanity thing. It's just about feeling confident on my wedding day. And I want to be able to feel confident and not worry. And I don't know. I'm just having a lot of thoughts and feelings behind it. And alongside that, alongside the, like I don't know, the superficial part of it, I guess you could say, there's also, I feel like I'm not doing enough. Like, I feel like summer is about to fly by. Like, there are very few free times that I feel like I have during the summer, other than July. July is pretty open. June is, well, we're about to be in June. And I guess the beginning of June is pretty open. I don't know. Maybe I'm freer than I thought. I'm not sure, but I thought I was pretty busy in June. And I know I'm very busy in August. I have something like every single weekend in August. And so and then after August, it's September, and I'm busy in September, and then I'm getting married the next month. So I just feel like there's a lot of things that I want to do around the house to like step into this new era. And I feel like it's time to like clock in, it's time to lock the heck in and really start like getting my shit together, because I just feel like it's not right now. I feel like my shit is all over the place, and I feel like I need to get my life together because I'm about to be a wife, and like I feel like I want to step into this era like actually feeling like that, as well as just like having that title. And to me, that comes with, doing different projects around the house. It comes with like, oh, there's a cardinal outside. I feel like that's good luck. Is that good luck, you guys? I don't know. Tell me it is. But there's a little cardinal that just landed on my flower. I have hanging flowers on the patio, and it just landed. I feel like that's a sign. Is that a sign? I don't know, but it made me smile. So I guess we're going to take it as a sign. I see cardinals here all the time. It is crazy, but okay. That just made me feel a little bit better. It just flew away. But what I mean is that I feel like there's a lot of house projects that I need to get done that I just keep pushing off. Like, luckily, I just bit the bullet and I got another rug for our living room, because I haven't had a rug pad for about a year at this point, and the rug is completely destroyed. So I got a new rug and a new rug pad. My office, I need to deep clean. There is still a little Christmas, decoration behind me. That's a Christmas advent calendar. If you've ever wondered what that was, that's a Christmas advent calendar. There are just projects around the house that I want to do, because Hayden and I's timeline, what we have kind of decided what we want to do is we're going to live in this house for another year, and then we're going to move and hopefully buy a home in an area that's a little bit further out, just because we're so based in the city right now. We're so central to everything, which is great. But also I just, getting married, I want to actually I don't know. I want to step into that next step, and start a new chapter in a new home. Hayden and I have lived in this house for about 3 years almost. It'll be 3 years in August. So it's definitely been so great. It's served its purpose for us, but we're ready for something bigger, something that's a little bit more family friendly, all of the things. So I just feel like because of that, there's things, I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole with house projects, and Hayden's really great at like landscaping and like the handyman work of it all. But like when it comes to decor and styling, I'm like, okay, what's worth doing right now and what's not? Like, should we get a new guest room bed, or should we wait until we move? Should I, get a new bed for us, or should I wait until we move? Should I get a new rug for the master, or should I wait until we move? I'm trying to weigh out the pros and cons of what's a task worth tackling now and what's a task worth tackling later. I think the backyard landscaping, that we need to take another look at. We need to go to Home Depot and get like plants to plant in our planters in the back and like kick off to summer. I just feel like there's so much to do and not enough time to do it. And that's also the pressure that I'm feeling. When I was talking about pressure in the beginning, that's also some of the pressure that I'm feeling. Alongside that, I also realized I just feel like, and I think that this is also part of it, in the midst of feeling like there's so much to do and not enough time to do it, I feel like I need a newfound purpose in life. And when I say purpose, I don't mean like something that's catastrophic or like life-changing. I just think I need a new hobby. That's pretty much what this comes down to. I always feel like if someone were to ask me, like, what do you like to do? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I like to work. I like to hang out with Hayden. I like to hang out with my family. I like to hang out with my dog. I like to go to restaurants. So I like to work, hang out with my family, and eat. That's essentially what I like to do. I feel like I need a hobby, and I feel like I really just need to find something that is going to, be something fun for me. I feel like this time last year I was really into baking. I had a goal of like doing one new thing a week, or baking one new recipe a week. And in doing that, I found like my favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe. I made a red velvet cake. I made a key lime pie. I made all these things that were so great. And that just kind of fell off over time. And I think what I'm going to do, when I was thinking about this, I was like, I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I'm going to tell you guys. And if you're feeling this way, then I think that maybe this is something that we can do together. Every week, I'm going to challenge myself to try something new, whether that's a new hobby, a new activity, baking something, a new workout class. I am going to try something new in Nashville. And whether it's by myself or with Hayden or with a friend, I don't really care. I just feel like I need to step out of my comfort zone. I feel like my life has gotten very routine lately in the midst of all the crazy. It's very weird. And I like when I say that out loud, I'm like, Savannah, that doesn't make sense. How is life so routine in the midst of craziness? And in the midst of chaos? I don't know. But it is, and that's what it feels like. And it also just feels like I need an activity and a hobby and something that's not work related, and something that is just like fun, and something that Hayden and I can do together, whether that's, hiking, or I'm not a hiker. Who am I kidding? I don't know. Something. We'll figure something out. Like a cooking class, or like I don't know. Anything really, playing tennis, or I don't know. When I say anything related to sports, I just have to laugh because like I'm so not a sports person, but I just feel like I want to start introducing new things into my life that could have me find like a new hobby and help me add a new section of my life, because I feel like right now my life is very like work, wedding, and that's kind of it. It's really just work and wedding. And then in like our free time, Hayden and I will just like have dinner together. And like, that's just kind of what it is. Work, wedding, dinner, repeat the cycle every day. And as much as I love it, and I'm so grateful to be in a position where it's like, that's my life. And I never want to come on here. This is the thing. Like, I know, trust me, you don't have to tell me. I know that one of the most annoying things in the world is hearing content creators and people who have like podcasts and influencers just being like, work is so hard. That's so annoying. Like, shut up. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I'm not saying that the work that I do is like overly difficult. What I'm saying is I think that I do so much of it that I don't allow myself time to like go out and enjoy life really. Like, I do 2 episodes of Killer Instinct a week because we do one regular, one on Patreon. And then I do one of these episodes a week on My Thoughts Exactly. And when I'm not doing that, I'm researching, and I'm also trying to like throw in some sort of random vlog every once in a while. And I also like want to do playlist videos. I just feel like there's so many things that I want to do, but I feel like I need to add and incorporate something into my life that is just external to all of that and can bring me some sort of like joy and happiness. And I think that that would be nice. Maybe it's like a paint and sip class. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's a playlist video. Like, maybe that's my hobby for the week. I make a freaking playlist video and we do that, and that can be it. I just think that it would be really healthy for me, because I just feel right now that I'm not super tuned in to life. And I don't mean that in a way that's, concerning. I just feel like life is happening around me so quickly, and I want to have something that's for me. And I'm very much looking forward to trying new things in order to figure out what that looks like. And so again, whether that's baking, whether it's a cooking class, whether that is going to a movie every week, or not every week, that feels like a lot, or like once you throw in going to a movie, or anything really. I'm not like a huge runner. I tried that once. I'm not a runner. I tried. I wish I was. I'm just not. So running is out of the question, but like a new workout class. And I'm starting on Monday actually, because I just signed up for a brand new hot yoga class in Nashville, and I'm so excited about it. It looks so cool. And it's like LED lights and like moody, and it just looks like it's going to be so much fun. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I think that in doing that, it'll make me feel more grounded with myself and just in life in general. And I've talked to you guys about this so many times. How many times on this podcast have we talked about routine? How many times on this podcast have we felt like if you feel out of touch with yourself or with reality and you're just going through the days and going through the motions, what do you do? How many times we've talked about that. And what is my biggest piece of advice that I need to take myself this time? Slow down and throw something new into your routine. Whether that's going to a new coffee shop, or whether that is, again, trying a new workout class, or making a new recipe, or anything. Tennis. I don't know why I keep saying tennis. I used to do tennis lessons when I was little, but I never really loved it. And I don't know, I think that some sort of active activity, like sports related activity, could be kind of fun because it would be killing two birds with one stone. It would be killing the bird of like wanting to be active and working out and, you know, the pressure that I talked about in the beginning, while also incorporating something fun and new into my weekly routine. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge myself. And if you guys would like to be a part of this journey with me, you definitely can. And we can keep each other accountable. We're going to try something new every single week. And I'm going to document it. I am going to document it. I will be posting on Instagram what this new hobby is. And then we'll come and we'll talk about it in the beginning of the episodes. We'll talk about what that new activity or hobby was that I tried. And I think that that will help. I think that just by recognizing my feelings and recognizing that, how I'm feeling is valid, but I also don't need to, it's not like end of the world feelings. And it's also like, I don't need to put this much pressure on myself, and, everything's going to fall into place the way it's supposed to. And I do feel confident about that. I just think that I sometimes have a tendency to feel overwhelmed, because what happens to me, I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but like when I don't check in with my feelings like consistently, and I just go through the motions and go through the days, the feelings that I have sometimes just tend to snowball without me even realizing it. And then I reach the point that I reached today of like, whoa, okay, I need to check in with my feelings and I need to figure out what's going on here, because clearly we have some stuff to go over. And then when I, deconstruct it and really hyperanalyze what those feelings are, I'm like, oh, okay, well, we can fix this through that, and we can address this by doing that. And it makes me feel better, because once I break down how I'm feeling, it doesn't make everything feel as overwhelming. When I'm looking at the giant snowball in front of me of my feelings, of everything that I haven't addressed, then I'm like, oh, this feels intimidating. It feels overwhelming. But the fact of the matter is that no one is going to deconstruct your feelings for you. I mean, unless you go to a therapist, but like no one is going to deconstruct your feelings for you other than yourself. Like you have to be able to just, if it looks big and it looks overwhelming, stand up to it, because you are bigger than your feelings. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but you can stand up to them and you can deconstruct it, and you can say, okay, I'm putting a name to this one, I'm putting a name to this one, and I'm putting a name to this one. And this is how I'm going to tackle all 3 of these or 5 of these or 10 of these. And everyone's issues are going to look different. And I don't want to, I feel in a certain way, like I never want to come on here and complain, because the issues that I'm talking about, they're self-inflicted in the way of like, okay, I'm putting I'm putting pressure on myself for not being where I want to be, body wise and confidence wise prior to my wedding. That's okay. I have like 5 months to get my shit together, along with that, like the hobby thing and trying out new activities. I haven't done that yet, which is why it's up to me in order to put those actions into words and put that play into practice. So then once point being is, I don't want to come on here and make it seem like, oh my gosh, like I have it so difficult, and oh my gosh, like how, the world is ending because I'm having these problems. And that's why I don't like to come on here and talk about, the crash outs that I sometimes have. But honestly, I feel a lot better now that I have. I feel a lot better just taking this time and taking this space, which is a very safe space for me, to just be like, you guys, this is what I'm feeling. And that's what I've done for the past 8 years of being online. Like, when have I ever held back? When have I ever not come on here and just be authentic? And I need to remind myself of that more often, that this is my space to be able to do that. And I just really want to thank you guys for giving me the ability to do that, because I don't take that for granted. And I don't want to come on here and burden anyone else with my thoughts or with my feelings or emotions, But I also feel like if I'm feeling this way, our issues and our problems may not be the same, and how we're feeling overwhelmed and pressured may not be the same. But at least you can feel a little bit like, okay, I'm not the only one going through some stuff. I'm not alone in how I'm feeling. Maybe we are feeling the same way about the hobby thing. Maybe you're also getting married and you're like, yeah, you know what? Like I'm feeling that pressure too, or I'm feeling that stress too. And maybe, you have a lot of shit around the house that you want to figure out and that you want to get better at, or you want to, tackle house projects and you just feel like there's not enough time in the day. I'm with ya. I hear ya. And I just want you to know that if you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling any sort of anxiety or pressure, that you're not alone. And even though our problems, like I said, might not be the same, it doesn't mean that they don't exist. I always used to say, I forget who told me this because I didn't make it up, but it was, just because someone broke their leg doesn't mean you didn't break your arm. And it's like, just because someone has issues or someone's going through some shit doesn't mean you also are not. Like, two things can exist at the same time. And even though it doesn't make one worse than the other. And I think that sometimes it's important to remember that. And I really thank you guys for giving me the space in order to come on here and just chat and yap. And sometimes that's what we need. Sometimes we just need to rant. And I love a good rant. Clearly, I've been sitting here talking for 31 minutes. Clearly, I love a good rant, and I'm never going to apologize for it. I'm very much pro rant, very much pro yap. If you want to go and talk your shit. Do what you have to do. And I feel like we should be acknowledging that more. We should. I know for me personally, if like I said, I've said it 6 times now, if I bottle it up, that's when I become a problem. That's when things start to snowball for me. So the sooner I can clock my feelings, the better. So that's all I have for you guys today. I feel a lot lighter. I really do. I feel a whole lot lighter. Thank you for giving me the space to do this. And let me know in the comments. Use the comments as just your rant zone. If you want to rant about whatever's going on in your life, comment below. Just rant. Let it all out. I promise you'll feel better. And it can be a safe space for everyone. So I want that for us. I want that for you guys. And I want everyone to feel how I feel coming on here week after week, feeling like this is a space that we can all feel safe together to express our feelings and really just talk through whatever we want to. So leave it in the comments below. But with that being said, you guys, that's going to be all for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. I promise by next week, this crash out will be over. It's over now. The crash out is over. You guys helped me through that. We're going to be back and better next week. And I'm going to talk to you about my new hobby that I started. My hot yoga class is going to be the one next week. Maybe I'll even throw something else in there too if I'm really feeling crazy. But I love you guys so much. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. I love you. Bye, guys.